Hi everyone and welcome to Phil and Ben's Crucible's property chat. My name is Ben, Business Development Manager of Crucible, and this is Phil, the Managing Director for Crucible. Today we're going to talk about things to look for when viewing a property, and it's your potential home. You know, we understand that buying a house is your biggest asset. It's important to you, so you want to make sure you get it right. So what we've got today is a few hints and tips and things to look for when you're viewing a property. So over to you, Phil, the first one.
Yeah, I think one thing you've got to bear in mind when you're looking at this sort of stuff is you don't need to be particularly looking stuff that the surveyor might pick up, like the damp timber, etc.
Yeah.
You've got to consider that you're going to be living in this house, so actually is it going to be suitable for you? And the simple stuff like, take your mobile phone in with you. See if it's actually got a mobile connection there.
Yeah, of course.
See if it's got a signal. Don't just assume that it's going to. A lot of people get very frustrated, I'll speak to them and it's like, well, we've got no signal in this new house. It's incredibly frustrating from that side of things.
I think it's important as well to view the property more than once. You'll go on the first time, but that second and third time when you go and look at it, you might see things in a completely different way.
Yeah.
And take somebody else with you who's not seen it before, because they might spot things that, in a good or a bad way, they might spot things that you think, oh, it's not quite right for me, or they might think we could make that work. So make sure you view it more than once.
Yeah, the figures on that are absolutely staggering. The average asking price for a property in Sheffield these days is 125,000. And you consider that when you go and viewing that, people will spend on average 15 minutes looking at it.
Wow.
If you're going to buy a new car or something like that, you'd probably go back 2 or 3 times, have a test drive, etc.
Of course you would.
But viewing a new house, so go back, but also go back at different times of the day as well.
Yeah.
Go back at night time. See where there's a group of kids hanging around the corner, that sort of stuff.
I think it's important as well, because what you need is good neighbours. So if you're going around at different times of the day, you can just get a feel for what's happening in the area, what your neighbours are like, and what who you're going to be living with, and what type of road it is to live on. Yeah. So it's important.
It's small things like, for example, power sockets. How many power sockets has it got? I mean, some of the older properties, I remember buying one, well, I mean, it was some time ago, back in the 1990s now, but there were no power points upstairs. We had to run electric cables, the power ones, upstairs to just get everything going. So, again, quite an important one.
It's important, isn't it? Yeah, and one thing that everybody's keen is which way does it face? Is it north facing? Is it south facing? Summer's around the corner, you want to get a good tan. If you've got a good garden with the barbecues out, you want to make sure it's facing the right way for you, if that's important for you.
And then it's other little things like, what are the regular bus stops around there? Has it got local shops, etc.? How far away is your favourite curry house? That sort of thing. So it isn't quite important.
Yeah, of course. And I think finally, just make sure you've got plenty of storage. Whether that's up in the loft, down in the cellar, or just little nooks and crannies where you can store things. Because it's amazing the amount of stuff you'll take from the old place into the new place. So make sure you've got plenty of storage.
Yeah, I think probably one final point, particularly if you're living around places like Hillsborough, as an example. Think about things like match days, but also think about parking.
Yeah.
Go back at different stages of the day, because sometimes you can view a property, say at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and you think, oh great, loads of parking. You go back at 8 o'clock at night and there's literally nowhere to park. So it's worth considering all these things.
Brilliant. Okay, well, we hope you found that informative. We're going to be running these on a weekly basis. If you do have any questions, please just pop them below on our Facebook page and we'll answer them when we can. Have a great week.
Yeah,
Cheers.
Take care.